Welcome to Sports Talk 2319, and I am your host, Rashad Phillips. I'm excited today. I want to talk about how the Trae Young and Steph Curry comparisons, I don't agree with it. I have one of the top college basketball players in all of America calling in today, and you know I got players for you. Let's go! The player I want to bring you guys today is Devontae Cacok out of UNC Wilmington, 6'8", 240 pounds. This kid has productivity written all over him. Last season, he led the country in field goal percentage, shooting 80% from the field. He took over 230 field goal attempts and he converted 184 last season. This kid obviously is fantastic around the basket. He's a great finisher, good shot blocker, great one-on-one post defender. What I love about this kid is every night he goes after it. He doesn't take a play off. He has tremendous energy. And think about this. Right now, he's shooting 65%. So he may finish out leading the country again in the same statistic. Outside of that, he's leading the nation in rebounding right now, just under 14 a game, averaging 17 points a game. So if you're tuned in to UNC Wilmington, they have a bright spot in Devontae Cacok. This college season has been fantastic thus far, especially the play of Trae Young. I mean, everybody, all of the media outlets and TV has been talking about this kid, and rightfully so. He's deserved all of the recognition. When you talk about great players and what Trae Young is doing, the first thing everybody wants to do is make a comparison, right? And that's a great thing. A lot of people have been comparing Trae Young to the great Steph Curry. But I'm here to tell you guys today that there's no similarities between these two, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. Now let's start with the college careers. Steph Curry's first year at Davidson in that Southern Conference. Now they're in Atlantic 10, but when Curry was there, they were in a conference called the Southern. Now, which was a lower end type of D1 field. Now, Curry's first year on campus, he had a fantastic freshman year. He averaged 21 points a game and 2 assists. So to me, that 2 assists will come back into play later. So as his sophomore year, Curry wins Player of the Year as a sophomore, averaging 25 points a game. I mean, he was putting the ball in the basket. 25 points a game, Player of the Year in the Southern Conference. But again, he only averaged 2 assists. Now, he created a huge following going into his junior year, and he capitalized on it with another amazing March Madness run. He averaged 28 points a game, which is crazy still today, and 5.6 assists, which was his career high at the time. So if you look at Curry's career in college, yes, fantastic, one of the greatest scorers that we'll see at the college level. But if you look at the assists in his career, he only averaged 3.4, 3.5 assists in his career in college. So Curry averaged 25 points and 3 assists. Now let's flip the page over to Trae Young. As a freshman in Oklahoma, currently right now, he's averaging 28 points and 10 assists a game. Now that is unreal as a freshman. So if you look at Curry's freshman year and look at Trae Young's freshman year, there's no comparison. Steph Curry averaged 2 assists as a freshman. Trae Young's averaging 10 assists. Now, the comparisons, let me tell you where the comparisons is coming from. And I still don't agree with it, but let me tell you where they're coming from. When Trae Young plays, he hits a 30-foot three, and everybody says that's Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry somehow has became the poster child for long threes. When there's other guys in the NBA that shoot long threes as well. Damian Lillard shoots long threes. Isaiah Thomas shoots long threes. Kyle Korver shoots long threes, and the list goes on. So again, the long distance three-pointers is where I think people are confusing the comparisons, where they're saying Steph Curry and Trae Young are the same players. Now, let me tell you, let's dig deeper and let me tell you why they're not. From a mid-major standpoint and from a high-major standpoint, Steph Curry was a mid-major college basketball player. Trae Young is a high-major college basketball player. Totally different. Now, the mindsets for both of these type of teams and styles are different. The mid-major mind frame. Let me give you the mid-major mind frame. Steph Curry's mind frame was to rely on yourself. The high major mind frame is to rely on your teammates, because traditionally high majors recruit better teammates. Like I told you guys before a few episodes back, that high major schools have better teammates. At the mid-major level, the teammates are not as good. They're more utility guys. So Steph Curry's mind frame was to do it himself. I'm going to score, 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 because that's how we're going to win. The high major mind frame is I can rely on my teammates. Rely, rely, rely. The more you rely on your teammates, the more scoring opportunities it will open up for yourself. Now, Trae's so dominant with the ball as a scorer, he's able to utilize his teammates, and his teammates attract attention where he's able to score. Whereas Steph Curry at Davidson wasn't able to rely on his teammates as much to open up to score and also make plays to get assists. So when you look at the teammates, Oklahoma right now has 4 guys averaging double figures. 4. That means Trae Young has a higher probability of passing to his teammate and knowing that that teammate can convert. When Steph Curry was at Davidson, he only had another guy averaging double figures. Him and someone else was averaging double figures in college. Everybody else was single digit. So when Curry dishes that ball off, there's a higher probability that that teammate won't convert. That's the difference between high major and mid-major. That's why Trae Young averages 10 assists and Steph Curry career high was 5 assists. And as a career, 3 assists. The mind frame. Now, let's dig more. Let's just keep digging deeper and deeper. When you look at it as a great player, if I'm Trae Young right now, I'm saying, and this is a great player's mindset. So I'm taking you inside the mind of a great player. If I'm Trae Young, I'm saying, why do you guys keep comparing me to Steph Curry? Because I'm better than Steph Curry. And when I say that, I'm saying it as if I'm averaging 28 points and 10 assists in college right now. Steph Curry never averaged 28 and 10 assists. So how are you comparing me to somebody who didn't do what I'm doing at this present moment? That's how great players think. What we're doing is that we're trying to forecast what Trae Young is going to be later instead of addressing what he is right now. Trae Young is better than Steph Curry at this point when Curry was a freshman in college. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, you can look more into the scope and say, what Trae Young is right now, Steph Curry wasn't. That's just what it is. And I think a lot of times we get caught into comparisons. I love comparisons. You know I do. I love to compare players, but I think there's instances where sometimes comparison can be the thief of joy. And I believe this one is, because Trae Young is writing his own story. He's not living in Steph Curry's story. This is Trae Young's story. And fortunately, if we're fortunate enough, there will be a kid that will come after Trae Young and have a 28 and 10 assist type season. And we can say, this kid is reminding me of Trae Young. But for right now, guys, Trae Young is his own player. It's his story, nobody else's. Let's talk about basketball style of play between Trae Young and Steph Curry. When you look at Trae Young, he is a ball-dominating, facilitating, scoring point guard, where Curry is more of a one-on-one juggernaut, shooting, scorer type. Now, let me dig deeper into Trae Young's style of play. When Trae plays, he kind of decodes the defense. He's always looking to make plays, and he's almost like he's undressing the 5 defenders to make a play for his teammates or himself. When you look at Steph Curry's only trying to undress or decode the defender that's in front of him so he can get his own shot. See, there's a difference when you undress 5 defenders to make opportunities for 4 other people rather than you undressing 1 defender to get your own shot. That's where they're both, again, they're different at. Now, if you look at Steph Curry, he would never lead the NBA in assists because it's not Steph Curry's style of play. Look at his teammates. He should lead the NBA in assists, but his style won't allow that to happen. You have Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant on either side of you, and yet and still, Steph Curry is not even the top assist guy on his team. He doesn't even lead his team in assists. Draymond Green does. So that further explains and validates what I'm telling you in the style that Steph Curry plays. Now, Trae Young, you put Trae Young around guys like that with the way he dominates the ball and undresses 4 or 5 defenders, he would average 10, 11 assists because the way his style is. Again, those same characteristics that Trae Young has is closer to Chris Paul than it is to Steph Curry, because Trae Young and Chris Paul are both ball-dominating type point guards, which leads to assist titles like Chris Paul has had in the NBA, and right now Trae Young leading the nation in that category. A lot has to do with the style. Now, he still reminds me a little bit of Mike Bibby from a cerebral standpoint. When Mike Bibby was at Arizona, Mike Bibby played in the same decoding fashion where he was undressing and decoding the defenders to make plays for his teammates and also allow himself to get open and score. That's why Steph Curry and Trae Young, again, are not similar. 2 different styles, 2 different ways to still be great. My next guest on the show is currently one of the top college basketball players in all of America. In my opinion, I believe that this player is the top stretch 4 in all of America. His body of work, his consistency, and his future looks promising. This kid has garnered so much attention over the last 2 years with his play on the court and off the court as well. I want to introduce you guys to him right now. South Dakota State's Mike the Dominator Daum. Mike, welcome to Sports Talk 2319.
Hey, thanks, Rashad. Thanks for having me.
Your team has gotten off to a great start. You guys have won your first 2 conference games, and you've won 5 games in a row. You had a 37-point, 15-rebound performance in the first game against North Dakota. What's your guys' philosophy going into conference play?
One major thing I would say would just be our guys coming in with the mindset every day of controlling what we can control. Going into more details, like we want to be able to win the loose ball battles, make all the hustle plays, get all the rebounds, and limit our turnovers. So going in each day, we feel like we focus more on what we can control versus what the other team does.
Yeah, getting those 50-50 balls are important. I've watched you guys a couple times, guys diving on the floor, getting after the ball, and that creates a winning atmosphere. I've witnessed that firsthand. You guys last year, looking back to last year, you guys won the conference tournament and advanced to the NCAA tournament. What was the feeling of doing that? And did you guys carry that momentum over going into this season?
The feeling of winning that conference tournament last year was honestly unbelievable. For us, last year, new coaching staff, new players all come in, and we're all trying to kind of find our place in this system. And we had such a rough start to the season, but for us to be able to finally click at the end of the season when we needed to, we really came together as a team. And like I said, winning that conference tournament is the most unreal feeling you'll have in the world. And then for that, leading over into this season, it's great. We have this coaching staff that's amazing. We have new guys come in, and they understand the camaraderie and this family feeling that we have here at SDSU. And they were able to pick up on it right away. And I think that's what helps us play so well together is we're not only close on the court, but off the court. We're the most together team, I would say, out of anybody.
And it shows just watching your players, your teammates when you're playing on TV and I'm watching just from afar. I can tell that you guys genuinely like each other. Since you brought up your teammates, I would like to talk about how Reed is playing well. Tell me about Jenkins, King, Key, like how all these guys are helping you tremendously, and I love what I'm seeing. Tell me more about your teammates.
Yes, no, so definitely. Reed Tellinghusen is like the heart and soul of the team. He's been a 4-year starter ever since he got here as a true freshman, played right away. And you can just tell he's got such a feel for this team, and he helps calm us down in those big games. And he makes unbelievable plays, whether it's hitting big shots on the offensive end or taking a ton of charges on the defensive end. He's the man. And then with Jenkins Jr., he comes in as a true freshman. Everyone had real high hopes for him. And us as a team, we couldn't be more proud of what he's doing for us. He is a true freshman, but he doesn't play like it. His ability to shoot is one of a kind, and he's really helped us space the floor, especially for me to get more shots myself, just because the defense would be keying in on him some.
Yeah.
And then going into other guys with Tevin and Brandon being able to take over the team as the point guard role. TK was someone that played the 2 last year, and we really didn't have him play the point guard, but he fell right into the spot, fell in love with the process of doing it, and he's really started to command this team in a way that nobody else was able to. And he brings a gritty toughness to this team too. And I can't thank my teammates enough for all the things they do. It's something special we have here.
I can definitely see that with your teammates, and that's a great assumption of all the guys that you've been playing with. I watched you particularly all last season, and obviously I've been studying you this season. You're a player that can score with his back to the basket, and as well as stretching the defense, shooting the three-pointer. You shot 40% from 3 last year and this year. Tell me more about how do you stay consistent? What's your recipe of staying consistent like that?
Honestly, the recipe is super simple, and this one goes right back to my mom. She always says, "Don't think, just shoot." So one thing that's easy for me is to just move on to the next shot. Every shot in my mind is going in. So that's where just kind of the confidence comes from. But no matter what happens, you just got to keep shooting. Whether you're in a slump or not, you're always going to be able to shoot your way out of it. So it's definitely just real simple. If you don't think and just shoot the ball, it's going to go in.
It's always good to get advice from a mom that's a Hall of Famer, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I want to talk about your NBA comparison, man. I love to compare kids, and you notice that you remind me a lot of Mimic Okor. If you don't know who that is, I'm going to give you a little bit of history on him. He was drafted by the Detroit Pistons in the 2nd round. And he had some great years with the Detroit Pistons. Then he got traded over to the Utah Jazz, where he made a lot of big plays. He averaged 18 points one career year, 17 points one career year as well. And he was a stretch 4 before that position became popular. And you have a lot of his characteristics, your ability to make shots from deep. So I want to tell you to continue to evolve as a player. You'll win Conference Player of the Year again this season. You'll be an all-time leading scorer at your school. And ultimately, your team will continue to be victorious. So again, thank you for joining me at Sports Talk 2319. Oh yeah, tell your mom, Michelle, I said hello too.
I will. Thank you so much, Rashad.
All right, thanks a lot. This is the most fun I've had in quite some time. I truly enjoy speaking with Mike Daum out of South Dakota State. What an amazing kid and character. I'm excited to continue to watch his growth. The Steph Curry and Trae Young talking about a future Hall of Famer and a All-American point guard. Today was just a fantastic show. Again, I'm Rashad Phillips, and thank you for joining me at Sports Talk 2319. Love my expertise info on college basketball players? Want to perfect your own play? Order my training DVD collection now at www.rpskillsunlimited.com.